Hi, I'm Danielle Reynolds from Wacky Wizard Games, and I'm here to show our new game from Wacky Wizard Games, Pack the Essentials, designed by Jacqueline Atkins. This game is for 1 to 4 players. It takes about 30 to 45 minutes for ages 12 and up. So what are you doing in Pack the Essentials? Well, any person who is a cat owner knows that the first and most important rule when you are going on a trip is make sure to pack your cat. But also, beyond that, we're going to be scoring points for collecting similar colored groupings of clothing items, as well as doing our to-do list before we head out the door on our next adventure. So before we begin, I'm going to show you how to set up. For this game example, we are going to have 3 different players. As I mentioned, this game goes for 1 to 4. You will want to pay attention to the board. It'll say 2+ on it for a 2 to 4 player game. In a solo game, you would use this deck known as the Cat Lady deck, but for those of you that like solo games, wait till the end of the video to learn how to play. So we're going to take that, put it in the box because this is a 3-player game. Next, you are going to put the round marker on the number 1 space. Then you will take the first player token and give it to the player who most recently packed their bag. In this case, we're going to say it's the player right here, yellow, aka me, because I travel a lot. Next, you're going to have each player decide which cat meeple they would like and find the matching colored suitcase, a reference card, and a little pack rat token. Now, decide as a group if you would like to play on the symmetric side, which is going to be the same on both, or the asymmetric sides, which are indicated here with the little sticker of the kitty cat. So for this example, we're going to put everyone on the same side. So throw that down. For the reference card, it is going to show what it is that you are doing on your turn on one side, and on the other side, it'll show how you're going to be scoring. I will go into scoring after showing how to set up. Great. Next, you will also decide which to-do lists you would like to do. You can do this random or you can pick as a group. Make sure to throw a 1, a 2, and a 3 down in their designated areas. Followed by that, make sure to put all of the tiles that are the accessory tiles in here, shake it up, put 1 into each spot, as well as throwing the socks and the underwear of their own colors off to the side here, the pack rats in their own pile, and the pom-poms in their own pile. If you are playing with 2 to 3 players, you are also going to want these Cat Lady tokens, and you're going to want them off to the side of the board. If you're playing a solo game, you will also use these, but in a 4-player, you will put them back into the box. And then last, you're going to have your little reference sheet here, which on the other side of it is going to double as your score sheet. You can place that within view of all the other players. It is used to help you with some of the to-do list items or just give reference of the shapes inside the game. And then you got your little marker, you can set that off to the side because you're not going to need it until you score. So that is how you set up for the game. Now let's learn how to play. I'm going to show you how you're going to be scoring your points. So there's 3 different ways. The first way is looking at your reference. You will notice that there is color matching. Putting groups of the same color together is going to score you more points. I have laid out a few tiles already on my board. You'll notice that I have them attached orthogonally because you will not score them as a single group if they are just touching each other like this from the corners. That is not going to count. These would count as 2 separate groupings. So you're only going to score for each color the 1 largest grouping. So you're going to want to keep those together. Now, when you place out these, you're going to notice I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I would look over here. 4 of those are going to get me 8 points. Now, the most tiles you can have touching in a single group is going to be 12. After that, you're going to just cap out at that 48 mark, so make sure to keep count as you are packing your suitcase. The next way you're going to score points is by putting your little kitties in there. How are you going to get a cat into your suitcase? Well, you're going to turn in these pack rat tokens. And so this one here will flip to the other side. You will want to take note that some of these, when you flip them to the other side, is going to be a different orientation and shape. During the game, you can test these out. That's completely okay, and put them back. We know that not everyone is going to be so good with their spatial recognition, so that is totally allowed. That's going to be worth 5 points for every kitty cat that you got in your bag. And then the last thing you're going to do is you're going to score points based off the to-do list. Now, for this game, we have chosen 3 different to-do lists, the first being 3 points for every column. So essentially every filled column, and that includes, you'll notice, these different accessories already in your board going down. So if this had been more like that, and then maybe we've got this kitty cat over here. And then we've put like a piece of underwear or something right there. Right now, this entire column is filled. That is going to score me 3 points. And so you're going to do that for every single one at the end of the game. The next is you're gonna score 2 points for each cat touching the edge of your suitcase. So right now only this cat is touching. Now that's not if this cat were touching like multiple edges, this still counts as only just one cat touching. And then the last one that we've chosen for this game is for every cat that is touching a pom-pom. So these are little pom-poms. They are added at the end of the game to help you with to-do list number 1 to fill in those gaps, but also can help with other ones that are spread out throughout these cards that you've chosen at the beginning during setup. And so that's how you're gonna score points. Now let's talk about what it is that you're doing on your turns. All right, so what we're gonna be doing when we're playing the game. You have your little reference here, but you're gonna start by doing your drafting. What drafting is gonna mean is the player who has that first player token is going to place their cat into one of the different draft order positions. I'm gonna go over what it is you're gonna get from those when we get to the next part, which is taking your bonuses. So this player might decide they wanna go there. This one, maybe we wanna go here. This one right there. And as you will see in a player count that is not 4, you're gonna have gaps. When you have a gap, that's when you're gonna take one of these lovely cat ladies and place the token with the face up, but the information face down. So once that's happened, we are going to draft our tiles and take our bonuses. So just because this player had the first player marker, it does not mean they are taking a tile first. The person who takes a tile first is the player that put their cat on the first spot. So in this case, this kitty cat, Coco, is going to take that meeple back and then also get to choose which one to draft first. So maybe we go with this really cool jean jacket that looks like Star Realms, puts it right there, and then it's going to take a piece of underwear. So when you take the underwear or the sock, it does not matter the color. You can choose whichever one, but you do have to make sure that the accessory is faced up, not the cat, unless you want to turn in a pack rat, which in this case, why not? This one's going to put in a pack rat. So we're going to return that there, flip it over to the cat side, and we're going to put it right there in that spot. So that would be that player. Now, the cool thing about this game is once a player has taken their meeple and taken a tile from here, they can choose and orient and mess with it as much as they'd like. The next player can start grabbing what they need to grab. You just need to make sure at the end of the round that everyone has placed what they needed on their turn. So next we got this player, the yellow one, is going to draft this pretty cool jean jacket and put it over here. And then take a pair of socks. Maybe we're gonna do that. Next is the cat lady. So we're gonna flip this over. Now it says 3, tile 3 has already been taken. So then you will reference this. So number 4 would be the next one removed. So this will just be removed from the game, throw it back into the box or off to the side. And they're not going to take any bonuses. But if a player had been here, they would have just taken one of these pack rats. So this will go back over here into the grouping of the kitty cat ladies. And then the last one is going to take their meeple, draft and take both a pom-pom and a pack rat, as well as the remaining tile. So we'll take those, put it over here, and then, I don't know, we'll throw a cat, and because we are putting it as a cat, we will turn in a pack rat. You can turn in up to 2 pack rats on your turn, and how that looks is if I had, say, a token that I had grabbed, or a tile that I had grabbed from there, as well as a sock or an underwear. So once everyone has selected, they've placed their different tiles down, you are ready to move into the next round. Know that if you've already placed an accessory tile down, so say this leather jacket, I can't in the future decide to turn this in to flip it over. Once it is placed, it is stuck there, moving forward into the game. So what we're gonna do, we check, make sure everyone's collected their meeples. All of these have been removed. We're gonna move the round marker up 1 space. We're going to make sure that all the cat ladies have been returned and shuffled. They have been. And then we're going to fill in tiles, making sure that the accessory is the thing pointed up and not the cat. So we've done that. And then we will rotate the first player marker clockwise. So now pink player is going to go first. And so this player might decide, hey, there's a yellow. We see 2 yellows. It's feeling pretty good. We're going to go in third. This one's like, green's also looking good. I'm gonna go 4th. And this one, unfortunately, already has blue. There is no blue out. So, let's go to cover some more area. So let's go a second. We're gonna throw a cat lady down. And because they're first, flip it over. 4th tile is removed. And then yellow is going to take, let's see. Let's hurt this player. Let's take this jacket over here. We're gonna put it over to the side here and make sure to collect our socks because we have more tokens going over here, we are actually going to take this color instead. So let's put that down. Followed by pink. Pink's gonna take their meeple. And it's kind of an awkward shape. We're gonna still go with this one because it's covering more area. So we're gonna put that right there. And we've got a pack rat. We're gonna take that. We're not gonna spend it right now. We're gonna save it for later. And then this one is gonna grab their last one, which is this here. And we're gonna continue moving on and making sure to grab a pack rat and a pom-pom to save for later. So you're basically gonna keep repeating this until you've made it all the way over here to the 12th round, and then you are gonna check your score and see how every player's done and see who has the most points. All right, so at the end of the game, when the marker has hit the 12th round and every player has collected all of their tokens, put it on their board, and added their little pom-poms, you're gonna then take the reference sheet, flip it over to the score side, and then write in your scores. Now I'm gonna go through each of these just so you have an idea of what scoring looks like. So starting with the yellow player, we're gonna go through each. So first you're gonna start with Peach, you're gonna count them all out, and they will have a total of 19 points because there are 7 touching each other. Now, keep in mind, Banana, they made the mistake of splitting into 2 separate groups. That's okay, it definitely happens, but you're gonna wanna make sure to watch it as you're playing. So you're gonna look, figure out which scoring group is larger, and in this case, it is gonna be this one right here, which is gonna give us 15 points for the 6 touching. Great. You're gonna go through each of the other colors, checking that off, and adding the total into the upper part. Next, we're gonna go through cats. So we're gonna count out, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cats. That is gonna be 35 points because you get 5 points per cat. Awesome. Next, we're gonna go over here to our to-do list. So for each column, you're gonna be getting 3 points. So we're gonna count through all of these columns. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So they did really good on this to-do list item. So 7 times 3, we got 21 points. Next, we're gonna go here. We have 2 points for every cat touching the edge of their suitcase. Now, this player only had 2 cats touching, so that's okay. You're only gonna get 4 points. Keep in mind, in the game, when you're doing the to-do list items, it is very likely that you are gonna focus on 1 or 2, not always 3. That's okay. Last one for this player is the 3 points for every cat touching their own pom-pom. In this case, this player has no pom-poms touching cats, so that's gonna be 0 points. Total it up, we have 105 points on this board. Great. Moving on over here to the pink player. So the pink player, starting with Peach, there is none. Next would be Banana. We've got a grouping of 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you add those up, when you look on here, 4 is gonna score you 8 points. So we're gonna go through each of these. They've managed to keep all their color groupings together. So we write that all. Then we're gonna move on to the columns. So they did a pretty good job. They've got this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 columns added up together. You can see that they use pom-poms to fill in, which is great because they're also going to be getting more points towards the end for this one here. So before we get there, you're going to get 2 points for each cat touching the edge. This player has touched 1, 2, 3 cats to the edge of their suitcase. And then we're going to look at those pom-pom points. So for each individual cat touching a pom-pom, for instance, this one is touching this one's touching that. This one is not touching, but it's touching here. So this excess pom-pom that wasn't used to fill in columns, they used in order to score points there. And then this cat here. So that's a decent amount of pom-pom points. So we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of those scoring you 3 points for each, so 12 points. Gonna add that all up and we're at 106 points for this one versus this guy here. So you'll notice like not that far off even though this grouping was split up. But next we've got this player over here. And for this one, we've got a small grouping of Peach. That's gonna get us 5 points. Next, we have no Banana, so we will not give any points for that. Followed by Mint. For the Mint one, we have quite a few points. We're scoring 41 points because they managed to get 11, which is very close to the most that you want. Lavender, we've got a small grouping, so only 5 points there, but they've done a pretty good job as far as color grouping goes. That is one of the paths to victory. Now, next, they also did a good job on cats. They ended up with 40 points due to having many cats packed in their suitcase. We'll look over here at the columns. So we've got 1, column 2, over here, 3, 4, 5. So 5 of those, doing pretty good on that side too. Then next, we're gonna go over here to the 2 points for each touching a cat on the edge. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cats touching the edge. So they definitely focused on that one. And then last, we've got the pom-poms touching cats. Now, these pom-poms aren't doing it. This one is, this one's not. So they focus to use the pom-poms more to score the columns versus getting the points over here. So that player, though, is going to have a whopping 120 points to beat the other two players. But that is how you're going to be playing Pack the Essential. Keep in mind, try to keep those color groupings together because those scaled points are really going to add up. Try to get as many cats as you can by turning in these cute little pack rat tokens, which are not worth anything if you don't end up spending it. And then to-do list items, it's okay if you don't get all of them, but you will definitely score some extra points that might put you into the winning this game. And so yeah, that is how you're going to play Pack the Essentials. Stay tuned and I'm going to show you how to play the solo mode, but the scoring is going to be exactly the same as what you just witnessed me doing. All right, thanks for sticking with us. If you are someone who likes to play solo games, I'm going to explain how to play the solo version of Pack the Essentials. So what I've done is I have flipped it to the other side. There is nothing written instead of a 2+. There will be nothing in the corner. You'll also notice there's now a cat lady card spot. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that deck of cards that I told you during the normal setup. You're going to put that right on top of there. Make sure to have this side face up with the suitcase on the bottom side. I have already selected a card and this is going to be my goal for the game. So what I'm trying to do is get 130 points or more while using all the to-do list items listed here. So I need 1B, 2C, and 3C. So I have gone through my deck of to-do list cards and I have pulled out those particular ones. So I'll put those down. I've got 1B. I'm going to be getting 2 points for every completely filled row. And then we've got 2C, 2 points for every underwear or sock item in your suitcase, whichever you have fewer of. And then 3C, we played it in the previous game where for every cat touching a pom-pom, you're going to be getting 3 points. And so I've used that. I can set this card off to the side because we will not be using it after the setup. Now, besides that, everything else is going to be the same. You will still have a meeple. You will choose a suitcase, but you will want to be on the symmetric side. So that is the side that does not have the cat's face on top of it. So you're going to put that there. And then you can have your player reference so you remember how to score. You can keep your sheet next to you and you should be off to the races and good to go. Because you are the only player, you're going to start as the first player. But you'll notice on this track, it is going to change color. So when you have your turn on the odd round, since you are starting, you are going to select first from the draft order. Kind of like as if you were playing a 2-player game. So I will get to choose. I maybe decide to go here. Now, I would then take the cat lady tokens and place in the rest. Now, as you can see, I don't really need to do that because once I've taken something, it does not matter. So maybe if I had put it instead here, I would put a cat lady token down for each of the remaining spots. I don't need to put one there because it's going to remove whatever was left. So I'll flip it over. It's going to take this one, remove it from the game. Take that one there, removing tile 3. And then I'm going to choose and I will take a pack rat as mine and I will take this one here. And so same rules as the base game. You're going to go through, you're going to collect, and you're going to remove things. Now, this last one will be removed. And then moving into the next round, you don't necessarily need to pass this. So you can just like push it off to the side, pull it back and forth. But basically, you're moving into the second round and now it is the cat lady deck's turn to go first. And so what that is going to look like is you're going to flip over one of these cards and it's going to show where you cannot place your cat. So in this instance, we have X's in all these 3. That basically means that there is a cat lady already in each of these locations. So I only have this as my choice. Now, that would be the same for like this card, but you would go through and each and every single one of them is going to be a little different. So sometimes you will have multiple choices. For instance, in this, I would have the choice between either one of these spots. So I would choose, we would fill in the remainder spots with cat lady tokens. And you'll just play the game like you would in the standard multiplayer. You'll keep going. At the very end, you will score once you've gotten to the 12th spot. You will check your score sheet against your goal for the game. And in this case, I'm trying to get 130 points or more. If I did, I have succeeded. If I didn't, I can try again or I can try a different goal. That is how you play the solo mode of Pack the Essentials. I hope you enjoyed both the multiplayer as well as the solo mode, and you check out the rest of the games coming from Wacky Wizard Games, the new imprint of Wise Wizard Games. This was Danielle, and I hope you enjoyed this teach.